It's a 20-question quiz with comedian Lara Beitz on 4 of her favorite things in the world: The Bachelor, yoga, scary movies, and pop music. This is Trivia with Buds. And welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. Thank you so much for checking out this show. This is your twice-weekly source for quick podcastable trivia. You can play along with yourself, with a friend, a spouse, a partner. You could play in a commute, driving somewhere, on a road trip, at the gym, walking a dog, all those fun things you do when you're listening to podcasts. And I'm glad you found this one. We put out full episodes every Tuesday and mini episodes every single Thursday on a single topic. Today we have a very special episode because we have 4 different topics that we're going to cover with my good friend, comedian Lara Beitz. She was into The Bachelor, yoga, scary movies, and pop music. So I thought, what the hell? Let's do all 4 of those topics. So we do 5 questions on each thing. So that's what you have to look forward to this episode. And this is episode 87, 2 years after the year I was born, 85. I was born in 1985. Speaking of 1985, my friend Casey O'Connor and I will be producing a new show called 1985, where we watch and dissect a different movie every single week, all from the year 1985. So if you are into nostalgia, if you're into the 80s or movies, you will definitely want to check this show out. It's going to be a podcast, but it's also going to be a video show. It's going to be shot, and it'll be a 20 to 30 minute show we put up every single week, and then I'll take the audio from that and put it up as a podcast separate from this podcast. But just wanted to kind of let you know about that. I think it's going to be a ton of fun because sometimes we'll be talking about a big mainstream 1985 movie like The Breakfast Club or something like that, Back to the Future maybe. And then sometimes we'll be talking about a movie that you've never heard of or forgot about. So I think it'll be really cool. So if you like movies, watch out for that very soon. I've been working on a ton of new content, a bunch of new ideas this year so far, 2018, for my website, for patrons on Patreon, and a bunch of different side projects I have piling up. If you love Disney, you should check out my brand new show. It's called DDT, Daily Disney Trivia. I've been putting it up on YouTube and Facebook, and it's going to come at you every single day. 5 questions from the wonderful world of Disney, and it'll be like a certain topic of Disney. So the first episode was Pixar movies, and I have the audio from that very first episode. It's only like a minute, so let's see if you know these 5 questions on Pixar movies. What it be, pop culture pals? It's your co-pilot in all things fun, Ryan Buds, host of Trivia with Buds. And today I've got 5 questions for you on the wonderful world of Disney for a brand new feature called Daily Disney Trivia, DDT with Buds. Today's theme is Pixar, so let's see how many of these 5 Pixar questions you know. Here's question number 1. What Toy Story movie features a character named Lotso Huggin' Bear? What Toy Story movie featured Lotso Huggin' Bear? Question number 2, who did the voice of Mr. Incredibles in The Incredibles? Who did the voice of the dad in The Incredibles? Question number 3, what are there 5 of, that's 5, on Boo's door in Monsters, Inc.? What are there 5 of on Boo's door in Monsters, Inc.? Question number 4, what is the Boy Scout's first name in the movie Up? What is the Boy Scout's first name that helps Carl, the old man, in Up? And question number 5, what year did The Good Dinosaur come out? What year did that film come out? That is your quiz for today. Let me know how you did in the comments or shoot me an email, ryanbuds@gmail.com. If you want to check your answers, just look for the link in the description of this video, and you can click the link and check all your answers on my website. We'll see you tomorrow for a brand new 5-question quiz. And if you want more trivia in your life, check out triviawithbuds.com. Cheers! Bam! How'd you do on those? Did you get all 5? Let me know in a tweet at RyanBuds on Twitter, on Instagram, all that good stuff. Let me know how you did out of those 5 questions on Pixar. And if you want more of the daily Disney trivia coming at you, subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Facebook, and you'll get a new video every single day from here on out. And also, what the hell, here's the audio from our daily Disney trivia, number 2, all about Disney princesses. What it be? Friends of Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. It's your buddy Ryan Buds, and today I've got 5 quick questions for you on the wonderful world of Disney. Today's theme is princesses, so let's see how many of these princess-related questions you know. Here's question number 1. Which princess wielded a frying pan as a handy weapon? Which princess had the frying pan? Question number 2, which princess was the star of a movie that featured a song called A Girl Worth Fighting For? Question number 3, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather are fairies in which Disney princess's movie? That's a tough one. Maybe you remember. Question number 4, how many thingamabobs does Ariel claim to have in a song in The Little Mermaid? One of my daughter's favorite movies. And question number 5, what is the name of the main character's hopeful restaurant in The Princess and the Frog? What's the name of that venue? That's your quiz for today. How many of those did you get right? Let me know in the comments or shoot me an email, ryanbuds@gmail.com. If you want to check your answers, look for the link in the description of this video and go to the website and see how you did. We'll see you tomorrow for more Disney fun. Cheers. All right, that was the audio from the second episode. You guys got that on the same day that episode went out. So if you want more of that, again, check out YouTube and Facebook for the daily Disney trivia quiz. I have a really fun guest today. She's a comedian, and I first met her in Chicago, and I think you will love Lara Beitz. Before we get into this episode and our sit-down chat, here's a quick clip of her on stage kicking comedy ass.
My goodness, you all look so nice. I moved here from the Midwest last year, and I'm not used to how good looking everyone is here at all. Like, I'm not even trying to be nice to you. It's dangerous for me. Like, I'm a danger to society. I can't function in this world. I was checking out a landscaper, almost hit a car, getting this close. That's what passes for a regular person around here. Like, this close, I almost hit a car. He was gorgeous. He'd be the king of Milwaukee if ever he went. He was absolutely stunning. That's a regular guy here, I guess. I was driving a different time, and a different guy popped out of a dumpster, and he was hot. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are you for real? Is someone trying to have me killed? Like, this can't just be how people look. He was just glistening in the sun, just like he was on the cover of GQ. In the trash, this man was. He was in the garbage. And still, I was like, I think I would date that guy. I think I would be with him. I mean, you'd have to pop him out of the trash, get a little rinse-a-rooney. But he looked good. He looked very good. He was hot. I'm like, did someone throw that one away? Like, and he was like, oh, what is this, another Hawkeye? Who needs one of these? We have infinity of these already. You don't need this one. Toss him in the dump. I don't know if he was foraging or if he lived there. I don't know his deal. I didn't ask. He was too flustered. He was hot, Like, maybe he's out of my league. I don't even know. I don't know if I could even talk to him. But shit, if he lived there, though, it'd be my first time dating a guy in L.A. without roommates, right? Hey! He was very handsome. He was like a sexy garbage jack-in-the-box. I was like, damn, Pop Goes the Weasel, more like. Like what I see.
All right, you heard some of her stand-up. Now let's sit down with my pal Lara for 20 questions on yoga, The Bachelor, scary movies, and pop music. Here we go. Here in beautiful Glendale, California with my good friend Lara Beitz. What's up, Lara?
Hi, oh my gosh, thank you for having me. We're at my house.
Yeah, thanks for having me over. This is the humidest room I've ever sat in.
Thank you. I'm so happy. I got a humidifier and everything is wet and I love it. My face is...
We have kids in my house that mostly sleep in our bed a lot of the time, so we're used to humidifiers, but this is, I feel like I'm almost in a spa of some kind.
Yeah, it's nice. I do a yoga video every morning before work.
Yeah.
And
I thought you record one for like YouTube.
No, I participate in one. Yeah. I do it, I mirror a YouTube video in my home. Yeah. In my room every morning before work, and with the humidifier on, I'm like pouring sweat.
It's like hot yoga at home.
It makes me feel like I'm really doing something.
We
it's
know
like
each
being
other.
in a mouth, isn't it?
It's like sitting in a giant mouth. Yeah, the mouth of Glendale. We've known each other for a few years now. We were just talking about it before we started. I think you and I met over at a thing called 4-Star Stand-Up in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we were like recording like, I don't know, like a practice TV set, I guess you could call it. Like
Yeah.
it was recorded for TV, but I don't think it really aired on TV.
Yeah. I did a 20-minute set and
Yeah.
I got a minute clip. So that's
There you go. That's how those always kind of turn out.
Yeah.
And then we did a bunch of shows in Chicago together. You've been out here how long?
I've been out here I've been saying a year and a half for a really long time.
Yeah.
August will be 2 years.
Okay, very good. So I've been out here 5, you've been out here 2, and you're doing stand-up as much as you can. I see you on like every other show posted on Facebook, so that's awesome. Doing a lot of shows.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it like a buttload.
Yeah.
Like as much as I can.
And what are you doing? Like, what's your day job, or do you have a day job? Or you do anything fun during the day?
During the day, I am a behavioral technician for kids with autism.
Oh, wow. Is that something you did in Chicago?
No, it's not. I went to school for it, though.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago, and just like never got a job in my field until
Sure.
I moved here. And yeah, I love it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you get to incorporate any kind of comedy into that job? Or I guess, is it just kind of sometimes pop up in that job?
Oh, it's constant comedy.
Yeah.
My current clients are 5 and 6, so
Okay.
they don't really get my sense of humor, but I
Yeah.
can make them laugh. And
Yeah.
that's like a really fun thing.
Sure.
Is to like try. I mean, you have kids,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
you know, like
Yeah. I have this, I
just
don't know
the
if you
silly stuff you do to make them laugh.
I don't know if you've seen this picture of me. It's like the one from me in Sharknado where I'm like on a beach holding my leg like a shark bit it off. So I'm holding my leg and it's covered in blood and there's a big pool of blood around my leg. And my daughter, I give them away as trivia prizes. And my daughter
Legs?
found one in the house. Yeah, legs.
Fake
I just give away
bloody
fake bloody legs. I should do that. That'd
I
be
thought
great.
that was what you meant.
So this 8x10 picture, my daughter found it and she goes, hey Dad, she's 3 years old. She goes, what happened to your ween? And I'm like, what? She thought I was holding like my. She goes, that's your ween because it was like it's down in that area and I'm reaching down, but I'm holding my thigh. And I go, you think that's my giant bloody ween? She's like, yeah,
God.
that's your ween. That's where it's at. It was really, really funny, and I had to explain the difference between weens and legs. But that's what's going on in my house. You're from Chicago originally?
I'm from Milwaukee originally.
Milwaukee, very good.
Chicago's ugly little sister.
My favorite beer of all time is called Spotted Cow. Have you ever had a Spotted Cow?
Oh, have I had many spotted cows?
That's
Yes.
like New Glarus. My wife took me there for a wedding present. We got to tour the brewery, and to this day, you still can't get it anywhere except in Wisconsin. You can't buy that beer anywhere else. It's like only Wisconsin.
That's funny.
They do that on purpose for some reason.
I liked the lakefront beers
Oh yeah.
back in my heyday.
Yeah. back in the 1920s, back in the roaring 20s.
Yep.
Very good. I'm getting all your bullet points in here. I found this one. Funny or Die Oddball Tour.
Yeah.
What
I
was-
did the yeah, that was so fun. I did the Chicago
Yeah.
thing.
So it was like they were on tour around the country and they got some local comics from each major city they were in to do like a side stage kind of thing. Was that what it
Yeah.
was? Was it a good experience for you, or was it just kind of was it weird or
Yeah, it was awesome. It was, I think there were like 1,500 people who watched
Yeah.
us.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
awesome.
outside.
Yeah.
It was really weird because it's like you would tell a joke and then hear it like roll
Rippling?
over.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
take like forever to get to the people in the back.
Was that at the First Midwest Bank Amphitheater in Tinley Park? Is that where it was?
I mean, is it? Did you Google it? It
No,
sounds
but that
like
was
you
close to where I grew
Googled
up.
it.
And it used to be called the World back in the day. It was called the World. Then it was called the Tweeter Center. And then I think most recently at First Midwest Bank Amphitheater, probably like, what was that, 3 years ago you did it? 4 years ago?
It was in Tinley Park.
Yeah. That was probably definitely where it was at. I saw
was like
Blink
2 or
182 and Green Day
3
there.
years
It was
ago.
pretty good combo there. And then I saw Blink 182 and No Doubt there. That was a pretty good one. And I caught the drummer's drumsticks from Green Day in the pit. And I put it
Awesome.
down my pants so that no one would steal it.
Wow.
That's my tip for all the people listening. If you catch a drumstick, put it down your pants. Near your ween. You have done laughs. That's a fun taping. I got to do that not too long ago. What was your experience like taping laughs for Fox?
I was so nervous. I went to Atlanta to do
wow.
the taping,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I didn't even I had bought my plane ticket.
Yeah.
And then I was waiting for the confirmation email that would have the lineup on it.
Sure.
And it just didn't come. So
Yeah.
I didn't get confirmation. So I was at the airport about to fly from Chicago to Atlanta,
Yeah.
refreshing my email constantly. And
Sure.
I'm like, oh my God, am I not on a show?
Oh,
you know,
yeah. That would be- that
I'm
would be
flying here and I'm not even on the show.
Yeah.
And then I I think I finally, because that was like back when I was like, I don't want to bother anybody. Now I like don't care at all, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just a thing where they like forgot, you know?
Yeah. That's definitely one of those things where it's like, I've done a million things like that where I'm like, well, I'm sure it'll be okay. And then I get there and they're like, oh, no, actually, you're not on this thing. And
it's
you're
not
like,
okay.
what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I went all the way on a game show to the wardrobe taping of the game show.
Oh, my God.
Got all the way up to the point where I'm in the approved shirt to walk on to start taping my portion of the game show. And somebody walked by that I had worked with before, and they go, oh, conflict of interest, you can't be on the show.
No way.
Yeah, it was the worst. And I was
like, my God.
I would have kicked ass on the game show. And I was like, no. And I just had to go home. And I never felt more defeated in my life driving home a car. And I got home. My wife's like, how'd it go? I'm like, didn't even get to do it. And it was like, I had bought the shirt for the thing. It was like, just like all crushing together.
Oh my God.
So that's my local version of that. But yeah, if I would totally fly somewhere and be like, I'm here for the Hawaiian cruise show. And they're like, there's no Hawaiian cruise show.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Well, and it's so like, you know, back then it was like, it's for TV. I don't want to bother a producer. They're so busy. I don't want them to not want me to do it because I sent them an email and really it's like they're people just trying to do their jobs.
Trying to do their jobs. And I got a job for you today. You're going to answer 20 trivia questions.
Nice
How do you feel about that, Lara?
I feel good about it.
This is kind of different. Usually I just I pick one topic that somebody gives me and I ask 10 questions on it. We kind of BS about it. Today I thought, let's do all 4 of the fun topics you gave me. So we'll be doing 5 questions on The Bachelor. We'll be doing 5 questions on scary movies, 5 questions on yoga, which you already mentioned, and 5 questions on pop music. So we'll do 20 questions total. You think you can handle it?
Yeah, I like all that stuff.
Very good. And we'll also slip in 5 questions on the Atlanta airport. All right, here we go.
Perfect.
Now, here we go. This is your first question. So you're just going to answer these, and then we'll just kind of chime in on different stuff as we go along.
Oh my gosh, my heart is racing, and it doesn't matter if I win or lose.
That's
I'm so competitive.
You made it.
I'm the only contestant, and my heart is pounding right now, and I didn't have any butterflies before this moment.
So imagine everything you're feeling, and then if I just told you, we're actually not going to do the podcast. We've worked together before. And then
oh my gosh. Did the guy not like you, or do they really take that seriously?
She was very friendly with me, and I had not seen her in years, like hung out, but she didn't, it's like a legal thing. They don't want to get in trouble for something like that. So it's kind of crazy. But here we go, everybody. This is the first question about The Bachelor. Let's see how well you know. Now, you specifically said in the message you like the last 3 years of The Bachelor the most, right? Or you watched them the most?
I didn't start watching it until like fairly recently, so I didn't want you to get into like the deep cuts.
Yeah. Gotcha. Here we go.
I just won't know anything.
This is the first question for The Bachelor. Question number 1. Ari, A-R-I-E, was the name of the most recent Bachelor.
Oh, don't get me started.
We're already diving in. But what was the name of the Bachelor before Ari? What's the name of the Bachelor before Ari? Just
was that name. Juan Pablo? No, wait, stop. Ben.
It was neither Pablo nor Ben from my research. Do you have any other guesses?
No, I thought it was Ben. Oh, Nick, I knew that. Duh. Oh my gosh.
Who was your favorite of all the Bachelors you just named so far? Do you know them all?
Ben.
Ben was the best?
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen the show. I know the concept of it. What draws you so much to The Bachelor?
It's just like so bad. I can't look away. It's just like so much.
You know
Have you seen who? Russ Williamson, his stuff on The Bachelor is like some of my favorite stand-up I've ever heard in my life.
Russ is one of those guys I've like immediately when I met him like 10 years ago, I was like, oh, this dude's going to be super famous.
Oh,
or like,
God.
he's just got that like personality. Like he seems like a road dog comic and he's like my age. He's, he's a funny dude. I have not seen his Bachelor stuff. I'll have to look that up.
One of his jokes is if you played a drinking game where you drank every time they said like you would die.
Question number 2 for The Bachelor. Let's see how you do on this one. What year did the show debut? Was it 2000, 2001, or 2002?
2000.
Final answer, 2000?
Yeah.
It was 2002. It was the latest of those dates. 2002, it's been on for 16 years, which is pretty intense. And you said you've only watched about the last 3 years, or did you watch a lot before that?
Yeah, I watched the last few. I can't believe I forgot about Nick. Well, Nick was pretty forgettable. He wasn't one of my favorites.
There you go. What year? It was 2002. Here's question number 3 for The Bachelor. Name 3 spin-offs of The Bachelor.
Bachelor Paradise, The Bachelorette.
One more. You got 4 choices. Or 3 choices, I think. 3 more choices. Yeah.
Is Bachelor Pad a thing?
Yes.
Ah, hell
Bachelor
yeah.
Pad. We also had Bachelor in Paradise after Paradise, and then the Bachelor Winter Games. What was that? They just did like some Olympics.
That sounds fun.
That sounds kind of fun. You're 1 for 3 so far. That's not too bad.
That's pretty bad.
Here's number 4. Which country does not air a version of The Bachelor? Is it China, Russia, or Mexico?
China.
It is Mexico.
God.
So China and Russia have their own version of The Bachelor. Which country would you watch next? If you were like, all right, I've watched every episode of the American version, which one would you think you'd want to dive into next if it had some fun subtitles and things?
China, Russia, or Mexico?
Anyone in any country in the world. What do you think would be the most interesting next Bachelor country to watch?
I
think
feel
Canada.
like German Bachelor would
German
be
Bachelor
really
would be pretty
funny because they're not a very romantic people.
Yeah, I would like to see the Canadian version, which does
I
exist.
love her. I'm sorry, it's just so funny. They wouldn't say it in English, but I can't speak German.
I like the idea of the Canadian one because I've never met nicer people than Canadians. Like I had to call a lot of Canadians on the phone for a clip show I was working on, and they were always just like delighted to talk to me and give me any information I needed. Like, and people in America, like some shitty 16-year-old kids, like, what's in it for me? And then like some like old Canadian guys, like, anything for you, kid. And you know, it was just, I loved Canadians. So I'd love to see what they do with The Bachelor. Here's number 5. Ben Stiller produced a web series parody of the show. It was called Burning Blank. What do you think the blank was? Burning Blank. Ben Stiller produced a web series parody of The Bachelor called Burning Blank. She's thinking it over. The humidity's dropping down. It's getting a little drier.
I'm thinking it over, but I also need to let you know that the young lady who won Nick's season. Yeah. And I mean, I may as well put one in finger quotes because he's not much of a prize, in my humble opinion. And they broke up, but she was Canadian. So she was. Know that.
Okay, very good.
Burning, I don't know, roses.
Burning love.
Oh, duh, that makes way more sense.
So you got 1 out of 5 on the old
You're making a fool of me,
Bachelor. How'd you feel about those questions? Were they too hard, you think?
Yeah, they were too hard. I got freaking 1 right. What do you mean, were they too hard? I got a 17%.
17%. Is that the right percentage?
How many questions were there?
5, you got 1.
That would be
20%.
a 20%.
20%. I've gotten plenty of 20s on quizzes and things. Let's see how you do on this next 5.
You failed them as I did this.
That is true. What was your best subject in school and your worst subject in school?
I was really good at reading. Yeah. And spelling and stuff.
Sure, me too. All the English stuff. That's the only thing I was good at.
Math was tough. Math was tough. I was good at it if I knew what I was doing, but I would look out the window for a second. I would miss a step and I would never catch back up. They just kept building on it. And I'm like, well, I missed a step 6 weeks ago, so I have no idea what we're doing now.
Do you remember having to do graphing with algebra? So you do equations and then you graphed the answers? Yeah. That shit was so beyond me. And it was 7th grade. And everybody else, it was one of the things where I'm like, why don't I was so frustrated. I'm like, I don't get it. I would sit down with the teacher and be like, I don't get it. They would explain it. My parents would explain it. Still wouldn't get it. To this day, I still couldn't explain it, and it'll never come up in my life. You know what I mean? But they put a lot of pressure on you when you're a kid to learn very specific things that I don't think you need to learn most of the time.
Long division busted my balls, man, and I haven't needed that a day
right?
Since. I never did learn it. I just failed those tests, and then they moved on. Yeah. I never learned it.
Think about how many things you do that in life with, though. You try something and you're like, well, not rollerblading ain't for me. And then you're like, never rollerblade again. Here's number 1 for our next topic, scary movies. Now, how do you think you're going to do in comparison? A little bit better?
Well, I mean, based on those questions, I think I'm going to do badly.
Do you watch a lot of scary movies?
Yeah, I do. But it's the same thing. I don't really watch the old ones because they don't really scare me.
Okay. So a lot of, what would be
And I don't like, I don't like just, seeing someone get stabbed a bunch to watch the knife go in. Sure. I have to have the suspense build. Yeah.
What about these? What about this movie? It's just out this week. The sequel to The Strangers. Did you watch The Strangers with a home invasion type thing? So Strangers is the idea that you go this couple, Liv Tyler and her husband, I think, are at a lake house, and these 3 people just show up in masks just to terrorize and murder them. But they're there's no motive. You never see their face. Yeah. And they're literally just doing it. They're the tagline was because you were home. So it's the idea that at any time someone could just come murder you in your house, for fun.
Oh yeah, I'd watch the shit out of that. Yeah, that sounds real scary.
I think it came out in 2008. I saw that. It is pretty terrifying. And then they just came out with a sequel 10 years later called Strangers Prey at Night. And it's been getting really good reviews. It's supposed to be really, it's pretty graphic. The murders are pretty crazy. But it's kind of like a throwback to some older 80s slashers type stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing, check that out.
All right.
Let's see how you do on this.
Let's
5
see.
questions on scary movies. Question number 1. Who did Freddy Krueger famously face in a Battle spin-off movie in 2003?
I honestly don't know. I thought this was... I honestly don't know.
Okay. Freddy Krueger, he faced Jason. So it's Freddy versus Jason. Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
So Freddy versus Jason. Question number 2. Which movie came out first? Was it The Grudge, The Ring, or The Eye? The Grudge, The Ring, or The Eye? Have you seen those movies?
I've seen The Ring.
Yeah?
I've never heard of The Grudge or The Eye. So I guess I'll just guess them in the order in which you said them. I guess The Grudge is first because you said it first.
It was The Ring.
All right.
It was The Ring, the one you've seen.
Yep.
That one came out in 2002. Grudge 2004. Ring,
Right.
The Eye sometime after that.
Perfect.
Question number 3. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 is called The Next Blank.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Blank. What do you think that word is?
The Next Massacre.
That would be great.
The next chapter?
Kind of.
The next...
Think more
Worst
like
thing next to
you,
Texas
your mom,
Chainsaw
and your
Massacre.
grandma are all from
Generation?
the next generation.
Well, you kind of handed that one to me.
I'm going to count it. 1.
You can't
One.
count that. Cross
Question
it off. I don't deserve it.
Question 4. Who directed a movie called House of a Thousand Corpses?
I don't know.
No guesses?
No.
What kind of stuff did you
I
think
thought I was going to get like 10 questions on The Bachelor because, frankly, you misled me. And if you look back at the message you wrote
That's
me,
true.
you were like, I'm going to pick one thing,
That's
ask you
true.
10 questions on it, and the other stuff we'll just talk about why you like it.
Yeah.
So
You
I
just-
didn't know that I was in for this, or I wouldn't have even told you I like scary movies. Which I do, but now I look like a freaking idiot because I didn't know that.
The
I
answer
didn't know about
was
Freddy versus Jason.
the answer was Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie.
I don't like his stuff that he's directed, and I would not watch something if I knew he directed it.
Really?
I would not watch another scary movie that I knew he directed.
Interesting.
Because the new Halloween, I felt that there
Yeah.
was a scene that was there was a scene in there that if I knew I was going to see, I wouldn't have.
What? I'm pretty familiar with the movie. Do you remember? Do you not want to talk about it?
They do things to a woman, and I didn't want
yeah,
to see it,
sure.
and I wouldn't want to watch it again.
I
felt it was overly sexualized too. I mean, I
Yeah.
felt that it was like meant to be arousing.
Sure.
And that was what was
pretty jacked
upsetting
up.
about
Yeah,
it
yeah.
to me. I
That
mean,
movie-
it's upsetting anyway. But.
Yeah. That movie and its sequel, there's a lot of over-sexualization of stuff, especially the mom character. Did you see the sequel? You probably didn't see the sequel.
No.
Sequel's actually like a really terrible movie, but you're definitely on par with what he does in that movie. It's not great. Here's number 5. What town does the Halloween series take place in? Do you remember that one?
Oh.
It's a fake town from Illinois. It's not a real town.
I don't remember, Ryan.
It is Haddonfield, Illinois. Kind of sounds like a random suburb of Chicago.
Halloweenfield, Illinois.
Halloweenfield. Here's question number 1. We're diving into yoga.
Okay.
So we're
All
jumping
right.
out of the scary
Okay.
stuff. We're diving into
Let's do it. Let's dive into
different yoga positions. Here's the first one. It's about a pose. What squatting pose is named after a Christmas tree decoration? What squatting pose is named after a Christmas tree decoration? Think about that. What do you throw on a Christmas tree? Squatting pose?
You should throw a star on a Christmas tree.
The star pose?
You should throw a little ornament on there, but that's not a thing. An elf, I guess. Sitting elf. I don't know, Ryan. I really don't know.
It's a Garland pose. The Garland pose.
Oh, yeah.
Like Judy Garland. Question number 2. In what comedy does a shirtless yoga instructor try to get several married couples to open up by repeating the word encouragement over and over again? It's a pretty
Couples
funny movie.
Retreat?
It is Couples Retreat.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Right on the money. That's one of those movies like this would probably be pretty terrible, but it had some good scenes.
Yeah, it was
I enjoyed
fun.
it. It was directed by Peter Billingsley, who was Ralphie from The Christmas Story.
Oh,
He
nice.
directed that movie. Here's number 3. What pose is supposed to mimic the perfect symmetry of a beautiful flower? What pose is supposed to mimic the perfect symmetry of a beautiful flower? Number 3 for yoga.
The lotus
It is the
pose?
lotus. That's 2 in a row. Let's see if you can clear out all 5 of these. Number 4, a male practicer of yoga is a yogi. What do they call female practicers? They can be called yogis, but also another word.
I've only heard Yogini.
It is Yogini.
Okay.
Yeah, Yogini. It sounds like a Mario character.
Okay.
Yogini. There you go. And your last question, starting in New York in 2002, what is the phrase for pet yoga? What do they call pet yoga? You do yoga with your pets. Mostly one type of pet. Starting in 2002 in New York, what is the phrase for pet yoga? Any guesses on that one?
No, but I've heard of goat yoga. And I
With
know
a goat?
people do dog yoga.
So dog yoga, what do you think they might call that?
Pup yoga.
Doga. D-O-G-A.
Oh, I hate that.
It's not great, but you got 3 of those. There you go. Yoga. That was your strong suit so far. And we're going to dive into this next category. It is pop music. Who are some of your favorite pop musicians of all time?
Oh, of all time?
Yeah.
Mariah Carey.
Sure. She has more number 1 hits than Elvis.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I think Michael Jackson and the Beatles. I think she is the number 1 top single artist in the history, if I'm not mistaken. She's pretty crazy.
She's a queen. She's a queen to this day.
What'd you think about her New Year's thing when she botched some stuff? Was that hard to watch as a big fan, or were you like, happens?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's under a lot of pressure, and she's also like 60 years old and amazing.
Yeah,
and
right?
I think that maybe she like took her night pill in the morning, and
There
we
you
had a
go.
little slip up, and we recover. I mean, she's been through worse, you know?
Of course. There you go. Mariah Carey. This is question number 1, pop music. What year did the song Pop from NSYNC come out?
1998.
It was 2001. A couple years
Okay.
later, Pop, NSYNC, 2001. 17 years ago. That's pretty crazy. Number 2, name either special guest of Katy Perry's at her Super Bowl 49 halftime show.
A gigantic animatronic lion and 50 Cent? I don't know, dude.
One is a guitar player, one is a rapper, I think, so to speak.
I think I watched that too.
This was a pretty good halftime show, especially in comparison
Yeah,
to
it was
these last 2 years before,
Bananas.
after her.
She rode that thing. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wait. Was Shakira there?
No.
She's not a guitarist or a rapper.
I think she was maybe the next year or the year before. Missy Elliott and Lenny Kravitz. Those were the 2 big guests. That was kind of like Missy Elliott's big return to music. She hadn't done anything in a while, and she came out and sang "Get Your Freak On" or something, and then she was in like a Pepsi commercial the next day. So it was well played by Missy Elliott. Okay. Here's number 3. What country is The Weeknd from? The artist known as The Weeknd, without the E in the end of that name. The
England?
Weeknd. No, but we were talking about this country earlier quite a bit. Any guesses?
Canada?
It is Canada. There you go.
I feel like I knew that now.
There you go. And then we had number 4. We got 2 questions left for our little 20-question quiz with Lara. Lara, what Britney Spears song starts out with these lyrics? Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning.
Toxic.
It is Toxic. You know that one pretty
I
quick.
could play that fucker on the keyboard for you right now if you ask me nicely.
Can you do it?
I mean, seriously?
I think it would be kind of fun to have in the
No,
background.
I won't.
All right. Number 5 in
Okay, I'll do it. No, I won't. I've like been waiting my whole life for someone to ask me that.
when we're done, maybe you can do it with
Maybe.
no pressure, and then I can insert it.
Maybe. We'll see.
Number 5, last question of the whole thing. You ready for this one? I think you're going to get it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's more lyrics. In the Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. What venue does Ed Sheeran say is not the best place to find a lover? So it's like one of the first lyrics of the song. He says, the something is not the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go.
I like broke up with a guy to this song, so
Okay.
I hate it and haven't listened to it a
So
lot.
it's a perfect question to end on.
So I don't know.
Can you
My
play
heart
it on the
sinks
keyboard?
Every time
Can
I
you
even-
play it on the keyboard?
No, absolutely not. I can't even play it on the radio, Ryan.
Any guess?
It's a venue?
So he goes to the bar because this other place is not a good place to find a lover.
Madison Square Garden.
The club. So he says, the club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go.
Oh.
I'm also Ed Sheeran.
I thought it was the name of a venue.
No, like a type of venue.
What type? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Ed Sheeran giving hope to pale people everywhere.
It looks so dumb now.
So, Lara, over those 4 categories, we learned a lot about you, and we learned that you know the most about yoga, and you do it
don't
every
know
day.
Jack shit about anything you like.
It's hard when you get put on the spot. Like, as a trivia host, I've hosted like 1,500 trivia nights. I write trivia questions every week. If I go to someone else's trivia night, I have no idea of anything. People are like, why don't you know this? I'm like, because it's like, I know the stuff I know, It's like anything. It's just tough. It's like, if somebody asks me something about British royalty or something, I'm like, I didn't even know what that is. You know what I mean? But if you're like, what WWE superstar had a thing? I'm like, oh, I know that. It's like, I know the dumb stuff that doesn't matter in life, which has gotten me this far. So, Lara, what did you think of all those questions? Did you hate them?
No. Thank you so much for taking the time to put this together.
Thanks for having me over.
I apologize for failing so miserably. What's my final score? Like
your
a 15%?
Final score, let's see. We asked 20 questions and you got 7 right. 7 out of 20.
What's 7 divided by 20?
7 divided by 20. We were just talking about long division, weren't we?
I got to do it on my calculator. Do you mind?
Go nuts. Let's hear that percentage.
Can you riff while I look this up?
Sure.
Or this won't be the most exciting moment.
The club isn't the best place to find a lover.
Stop. Oh, God. I was in love. Seriously. Oh, it was horrible. He told me that...
Wait, you said you broke up with him, you said?
No.
Oh, other way around.
He told me that he meant more to me than I meant to him. Oh. And then we awkwardly... oh, no. Oh, my God. It was so awful.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
7 divided by 20 is 35%. That's 35%? A hard fail. That's a big F.
That's a 35%, but 100% fun, right?
Yeah, I did have 100% fun.
And the humidity's completely worn off now. It's like a regular room.
Yeah, well, I was going to turn the humidifier on.
You just pour a bucket of water.
It makes like a bubbly... it makes like a bubbly sound, and I didn't want to...
Yeah.
I didn't want it to take over the podcast.
I am so glad you had me over. I'm so glad to get to know you more and get to know what you're into in these 4 categories. Thanks for doing the show, and where can people find more about you?
You can't. This is pretty much it.
This is it.
If you want to record a podcast that sounds like it was made in a bong, come over. I'll turn my humidifier on. I am on Instagram at Lara Beitz, LARABEITZ, and the same thing
and Twitter,
for Twitter
right?
and Facebook, because that's my name.
Lara Beitz. Thank you so much. You've been a delight, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you so much. Likewise. Goodbye.
How did you do on those 20 questions with Lara? Did you nail all of them? Besides scary movies, I think I would have failed all those topics with flying colors. Make sure to follow Lara, especially if you live in LA and love good comedy. You can see her perform somewhere around town. I highly encourage you to do so. And follow her on Twitter and all the good social media stuff. We are continuing Women's History Month by guesting women I know and love on this show. So stay tuned next week for the amazing Pilar Alessandra. She is a screenwriting consultant, and she's host of the very popular screenwriting podcast. It's called On the Page. I've been a co-host on that show for a number of years, and I think you will love our sit-down chat and the topic we do to close out Women's History Month, which is, of course, women's history. So we quiz her on some fun women history-related questions. She's the best. And this Thursday's mini episode is all about that green. That's right. It's our marijuana mini episode as picked by Patreon subscriber Natalie Santiago. She has a company called Hot Box Wholesale, and you should check out her website. Her Instagram is Hot Box Wholesale, and you can find the link to the website right in there in her Instagram profile. It is clothing for cannabis lovers and users and supporters. So check that out. One of my favorite shirts on there, it says, not shy, just high. So if that's you, go buy that shirt or that hoodie. I think they have it in a bunch of different styles and things like that. It's our marijuana mini episode, and since she is a Patreon subscriber, she got to pick that mini episode theme, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of buds on buds pun action up in that beast. To close out this episode a little differently, I wanted to direct you guys to the SoundCloud page of my pal Frawsty. Frawsty is a great DJ in the LA area who graciously lets me use one of his songs is the intro to this podcast. So if you like it, it's a really great song, and I love the portion of it that I use for this show. Sometimes we've played the whole version of that track, the full track, on different episodes if you want to go back and find that. But you can find him over on soundcloud.com/Frawsty, FRAWSTY. I want you to go follow him ASAP and check out tracks like this amazing Du Hast mix that we're going to close out this episode with. So if you remember Du Hast by Rammstein, in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. You will like his take on that mix. Thank you so much for listening to this show and giving it a chance. Tell a friend if you like it, and rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes to help me climb those charts. Hope you have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Du hast mich. Du hast mich. Stay frosty.